You see, I can't believe that this gambit is still unstoppable up to now. It's like many people are not just aware of it anyways. They take on g6 and then I take back, and then after something like bishop d3 I play queen d6 to stop bishop f4 and also protecting my g6 pawn. In this video, you're going to see how I defeated two random chess players on leeches using this unknown dubious gambit known as the Fianchetto Gambit or the modern gambit. If you guys want to learn more about this, you can watch my tutorial video that has popped up in the card above, because that's what I do. I make tutorial videos first and then back them up with live games like this one which you are about to watch. Let's see. So I'm playing against a 2144 rated opponent, and it's time for the Fianchetto Gambit with g6 and f5. So e4 by my opponent. Let me play g6 and then pawn to f5 next. If d4, yep. So pawn to f5. If pawn takes, I'll play pawn, yep. So pawn to d5. So I covered this line in my first tutorial video on the modern gambit or the so-called Fianchetto Gambit. So nothing strange so far. So after bishop d3, you need to play queen d6, stopping bishop f4 and also guarding your g6 pawn. That's what I said. At this point, I expect to see a move like knight f3, because that's what most of my opponents play. Right, and that's what we mean by playing by intuition. You guys, you need to know your openings very well. So bishop g4 is the move. If pawn to h3, I have knight c6. I have seen these several times, so these moves are not new to my eyeballs. So let's see what my opponent is going to do. Otherwise, pawn to h3 invites knight c6, because I know white is not going to take my light squared bishop due to rook takes h1. And that's what happened. See what I'm talking about? So I have played this over and over on leeches, so all these things are not strange to my eyeballs. Once again, bishop g5 attacking nothing. Okay, now this hangs a pawn on d4. I was expecting black was going to play something like pawn to c3, so let me just take the pawn on d4. Who am I to reject such an offer, you guys? Anyway, so I just won a free pawn, or should I say I just got back my pawn, because remember I played a gambit in the opening stage, the Fianchetto Gambit. So I don't expect white to take my light squared bishop due to rook takes h1. Let's see what my opponent is going to do here. Besides, I have moves like castle long and then pawn to e5, then bishop h6, knight e7, followed by knight f5. This is what I covered in my tutorial video, you guys. So you better check out the link to my modern gambit playlist in the comment section down below, because that's where I covered all these things that I'm doing right now. So it's pointless for me to start analyzing and repeating content. I don't want to steal your time. The best you can do if you want to know more about the Fianchetto Gambit is to watch my first tutorial videos. So let's see what my opponent is going to do here. Knight c3. I don't think this is a great move because I have bishop takes g4 anyways. Let me just take the knight with my light squared bishop. Pop. I expect gc. I mean g takes f3. Yep, and then castle long. I don't have anything to lose if bishop, f5 check. Some kind of a tactic. I have knight takes f5. Problem solved. I like what I'm seeing so far. But anyways, it is what it is. And let me know what you guys think about the Fianchetto Gambit. Should I make this opening my signature opening or not? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I can play this all the time. I think I haven't lost many games with this so-called Fianchetto Gambit. Okay, bishop takes g6 finally. This is a tactical move. So black thinks, I'm going to take the light squared bishop so that he can go ahead and take my knight, but I can just chill and come up with another plan here. You see, whenever you see an obvious move by your opponent. Don't rush to, play or make a move. So right now I'm thinking of a tactical move, something in the lines of pawn to e5. How about that? Sacrificing my rook on d8. Remember, if I play queen takes g6, black will be happy to take my knight on d4. That's why they took on g6 with their light squad bishop. So if queen takes g6, I have knight takes c2 in the near future. So I guess the move here is pawn to e5, sacrificing my rook. So if white takes, I'm gonna take the light squad bishop and threaten to take on c2 with my knight. So e5. Whoa, that's what my opponent played. So you see, it all comes down to simple tactics like these. So the game was equal up to this point. So I just played a simple tactic on my opponent and that costed him. So white has no time to take my knight on d4 because it is defended by my e-pawn, by the way. So that's a desperado move. Bishop takes c7. I can take back with my king if I want to, or just take on c2 with my knight and win the rook on a1. That'll be check, by the way. Knight takes c2 check. But again, I'm trying to think of a tactical move that I can play right now. King takes c7 is an obvious move. I also have bishop b4, an obvious move. And probably something like knight f6, which is also an obvious move. Knight takes c2 is an obvious move. But queen g2, guys, followed by knight f3 check. This is an high-level move. Yep, according to my instinct. So queen g2 attacking the rook. If rook f1, I have knight takes f3 check, and then after king e2, I'll just play knight back to d4 check and grab the dark squad bishop. What a clever strategy, you guys. I like this strategy. I don't think white has any attacks coming or any threats. There we see rook f1. Now it's safe for me to take on f3. Yep, right. Knight takes f3 check. Yep, and then retreat my knight back to d4 check. And then next I'm going to win the dark squad bishop. Now white can't castle long because the king has moved. And then we see king d3. That's a terrible move, I think, because I have rook takes h3 check. Yep. So I can see a checkmate coming already. I have moves like queen g5 check, keeping the king in the box. So this is a very terrible blunder by my opponent. That was a very terrible blunder. And they just resigned. So I won my first game. Anyway, that was really great. If you guys want to, go through the PGN of this game, I'm going to link it in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and also share. That's how we grow this channel, in case you didn't know. Right, let me play the second game featuring the Fianchetto Gambit, and don't go away. Right, game number 2. I'm playing against a 2059 rated opponent. Again, the Fianchetto Gambit. If d4, I'll play pawn to f5, as always. So let's see what my opponent is going to play. So they always see bishop c4, something that I don't usually see. So let me just play pawn to f5 anyways, sticking to my Fianchetto Gambit plans, because what else do I know? So next I want to play d5. So there we see e takes f5. Now I can go pawn to d5, attacking the bishop. And at this point I expect white to play bishop d3, after which I'm going to play queen d6, and after pawn takes, I'll take back with my h-pawn, transposing into some kind of the normal Fianchetto Gambit line. And there we see bishop d3, just like I predicted. So queen d6, if pawn takes, I'll take back with my h pawn. That's the plan. So I just removed that, and as you can see, I'm playing everything that I already know. Queen f3. Queen f3 by white. What should I do? Knight c6, intending to go knight d4 next, or knight e5. So there we see knight c3. I think let me play knight e5. As you can see, this is a little bit different from the normal Fianchetto Gambit because white doesn't have a d pawn on d4. So there we see queen takes d5, but I can just take with my knight on d3. So knight takes d3 check. That's some kind of an intermediate move. Yeah, the whole idea is to mess up white's pawn structure on the queen side or on the center of the board. So pawn takes. Now I can take the queen, or probably just take the f pawn. So bishop takes f5. If queen takes, now I can just take back with my e pawn, not my c pawn. Yeah, just e pawn. It's good to have a fixed pawn structure for the end game. Next, I'm planning to castle long. There we see pawn to d4. Now I have something to attack, so bishop g7 makes a lot of sense here, just attacking the d4 pawn. So there we see knight ge2 once again. Instead of castling long, I think I can just put my king on d7. Yep, kick d7, and then next rook a e8. There we see castle short, so now I can play what? I think rook a e8. What else? Let me see. I also have something like bishop d3. In fact, bishop d3 makes a lot of sense here because I'm pinning the rook. If rook e1, I have rook e8. Yeah, rook e8. And then there are these kinds of moves like bishop takes d4. Since everything is pinned, the knight on e2 is pinned to the rook. So I'll just take the pawn on d4 if white doesn't do anything special about that. Anyways, white can't do anything here because I just don't see a way they can defend their d pawn. So yeah, like pawn to a4 allows me to take on d4 with my dark squared bishop. I think let me do that. Yep, I don't see anything wrong here. If knight takes, I have mate in one. Rook takes e1, checkmate. So my opponent won't do that, I guess. There we see pawn to g3. Now I can just oversimplify the game here. Well, let me start with knight f6. So the idea is to go knight g4 if white allows. Yeah, like pawn to a5 allows me to go knight g5, attacking the f2 pawn with my dark square bishop. So knight g4. Remember that white can't take my dark squared bishop because the knight is pinned to the rook. So there we see rook f1, but I have bishop takes e2, I think. Yep, just winning a piece. If knight takes, yeah, now I can take back with my rook, and I'm dominating this game completely. So next, I'm planning to play rook f8, just, putting more pressure on the f2 pawn, and I don't see how my opponent will defend this position. h3, I can just take on f2 with my knight, pap, attacking the h3 pawn. I see something like king g2 or king h2 coming, but I have rook f8 anyways. So this weren't as smooth as butter. Anyway, rook f8, and I have a little discovery. In case you don't know what is happening here, I'm planning to play knight g4, discovery check, and then capture the rook on f1, and then checkmate. That'll be checkmate, yeah. So knight g4 will be discovery check. My other rook is on e2, indirectly attacking the king. Okay, so my opponent just resigned, and I'm happy with this result, you guys. So this is what I'm talking about. This gambit seems to be unstoppable so far. Yeah, I do lose some games here and there, but it seems many people are not just aware of this Fianchetto Gambit, and it is so tricky that even masters may lose to this. Anyway, let me know what you think about the Fianchetto Gambit, you guys. I love this, and if you want to learn more about the Fianchetto Gambit, be sure to check the links in the comment section down below and subscribe. Share this video if you can so that we reach